Oh, we still have time. That's the reason she has not joined. We still have 2 minutes. Ramakrishna garu, you can wait.
So on the thought, you asked me for the questions, right?
Hmm.
See, the one, I've shared this with you before, okay, now when you see that your thoughts are getting manifested,
Hmm.
and then you are able to look at your thoughts as a separate from, the yourself, okay? Um, and then, this might materialize, and then suddenly you get scared that when you actually say a wrong thing in your mind, you get scared, okay? And then immediately you repent and say, I should not have said it, and then you start taking back. At those times, my what I follow is immediately say the opposite, okay, of something good. Okay, whatever I said, okay, he should break his leg, then I will immediately say, no, he should be healthy, should not break his leg. He should be healthy, should not break his leg. At least 3 times I will repeat that sentence, so that whatever I release the bad
You are
thought,
making
I'm
a
going to.
mistake there.
Uh,
I would say you are making a mistake there. Why?
why? No, at least I will not have a regret afterwards.
No, you are missing out on something very, very crucial.
Okay.
What is it?
Think from the perspective of this letter,
What is that?
this word, not letter.
Energy?
Are you still giving it energy?
Yes, but then I'm giving energy to a positive thought.
That is
I'm
what you are
perceiving to have.
thinking. But as
Yeah.
far as the thought itself is energy,
Yeah.
right? Don't give it any energy. Let it lie. It won't have. See, if I go back to the diagram that we were drawing yesterday, it
Okay.
needs to have that idea needs to have become, that thought needs to have become an idea. That thought needs to have
Okay.
become an idea. That
Uh,
means it should have attained the gravitational weight or the density that that particular environment is
uh,
able to hold it, or they are not able to hold it. So just let it lie and dissolve it, saying, I let it go. Instead of saying, I am sending negative energy, I am sending it energy, I am saying, let it dissolve. That is what we are learning in unified meditation, correct?
Sir, one question here. In unified meditation, we are correcting our thoughts and we are sending love and light to all kind of thought forms.
You
So
are
this,
also
this
releasing unwanted influencers,
mm,
which
yeah.
you may have created in error,
Mm,
in ignorance,
mm,
right?
yeah.
Whatever you have created as against what has been created for you, you are
mhm.
releasing. Correct?
Yes.
We are releasing all the unwanted influences, whoever created it. And 99 out of 100, we have created it in error.
Yeah.
Correct? That is what we are releasing. Yeah? Yes or no?
I agree, but what is happening is like in that moment of krodha, I uttered a wrong word, and then I suddenly moved on to a guilt, and then I wanted to correct that, and I'm afraid of that manifesting. So I'm trying to correct it.
You're doing it, but a better way of doing it would be you dissolve it by saying that I am sending you where you belong. Or what GK sir said when in the Fevicol concept.
Uh-huh.
He said, you take all that anger, convert it to a ball of fire and release it to nature.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is very similar to what you are doing in our unified meditation, sending it back. You all have a right place to be, you please go. And I am requesting my over self to take you there. That would
Yeah.
be a better way to dissolve. Would you not agree, Kirti?
Yes, sir. I agree. I mean,
Yeah. Right.
So, in order to manifesting, you need three things to be in together, right? Person should be there.
You need three things,
Uh-huh.
but if you feel that you have already released, you have already done one part, the other two may happen like your gulping exercise. You may not be aware, but it has happened. Right?
Yes.
That is the only thing. Yeah. Any other question?
I have Chandra. So in unified, we say that all the unwanted influences to go back to where they belong. But in anger, the words that we say, or our anger itself, where is it going to go to when you're saying that it go back
To nature.
to where it belongs?
To nature.
Okay.
It goes back to nature because it is the energy that you have coated with negative weight.
Mm.
Right? So you are sending it back to nature. It will go back, dissolve.
Okay. So it won't have any negative influence in
That is precisely what will happen. It will get purified.
Okay.
oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought like these will go and sit, and whoever is vibrating at that level, they will attract this kind of thoughts. I was thinking that. Is it not
that is
correct, sir?
quite likely. No, it is correct. But
Mm.
what you are saying is dissolve. By sending it to the right place, you are also love you. I don't want you to impact anyone. That is the feeling with which you are sending, right? You are sending it with love energy.
Yeah.
You are not sending it as a ball of fire.
Okay. Then that's going to transmit.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard in some sections they were saying, I will release and get release into Alshan Agni. Alshan is like a very powerful sun burning fire,
Which will
central
burn this
sun.
also.
Yeah. So that's what in a lot of sessions I heard regarding this meditation sessions, eighth meditation and all.
Yeah.
On the
All of them basically, instead of corrupting the environment, you release it so that it is dissolved in the environment.
Yes.
So that even if it is there, it will not have the force along with it to create an impact.
Yeah,
It
basically,
is
if you're sending,
disintegrated.
we burn everything.
Correct. And I was reading some other books which talks about, say, how do you heal using the power of dark emotions?
Huh? Oh my God.
Oh,
Strange.
you're going to alter right at the moment there.
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
See, if I turn it outward, it is negative. If I turn it inward, I am already aware. I am increasing my awareness, correct?
Yeah.
I
Actually,
just picked
that
up a beautiful book in terms of healing with dark emotions. Lovely book. I'll post it if I have not already done.
sir, it's better to discuss in the session, sir. These many books, it's hard to read
Because
that
we
many
have time to do all this. There are so
I know,
many
I
books.
agree.
Because we are having, so many
What's the
sessions
name?
in time.
No, but those who are interested in healing themselves, that's a lovely thing. There was another old book that I read long time ago, which is known as The Fear Cure.
Mm.
See, fear, all these dark emotions actually increase your awareness. But
That's what I was going to say, sir. We complete after that. I'll tell one
see,
experience.
all these dark emotions actually give us the heightened awareness. Okay, which is doing exactly the opposite of what this word energy is doing when I was answering Ramakrishna sir. The moment you are aware of it, you know the corrective action. You will not give it energy the moment your awareness is there. So you know that if you do this, you are going to get afraid, right? So you turn that awareness, that fear inwards. Now what happens? Your environment is getting charged with that energy.
And not only that, suppose if you see a snake, instead of feeling fear, feel the love, even though same being, I know. When you feel the love, you're transmitting the same love, so it gets the same.
True.
Otherwise,
See, it is also attacking you out of fear.
yeah, that's right.
Right.
So, what I read, when you release whatever you release, the same thing, it will attract.
Correct.
Even honeybees and snakes and all. So we need to be in that love and environment. We need to release the love
Correct.
instead of fear.
Yeah. Right. So that way we can help. In fact, when you get to know that you are going to get angry or what makes you angry, you caution the other person, even the child, you say, "See, what you are doing will make me angry." And when you are saying that, you won't say it with the same ferocity or animosity as you may have experienced the first time you said it. So it calls for
Or maybe
some practice, but that is exactly how the dark forces can help us convert it to true energy. Let's continue now. The purpose of an accident. Ma'am, over to you.
the recording.
So,
Are we
yeah,
recording?
I've already started the recording.
Oh,
This
okay,
is
okay.
too big. One
Okay.
sec. Let me make it slightly larger. Yeah. Purpose of an accident.
The purpose of an accident is to call one's attention to the thought of which it is one of the exteriorizations. One to whom an accident happens can always, by searching, find out something about that. Though the event may not reveal the whole past to him, it may reveal that portion of the past which it is necessary for him to know. If he tries to understand, he will learn, and he will learn more if he is willing to pay. He must pay anyway. What he learns will bring him nearer to the adjustment.
So basically what he is saying is you can reduce the impact
Yes, by
by
learning,
learning.
understanding.
Jnanagni dagda karmanam. Simple.
Yes.
Yeah.
Suppose two men are traveling in a mountainous country. By placing his foot on an insecure stone, one of them slips and falls into a ravine. His companion goes to the rescue, finds the mangled body below among rocks, and close at hand he discovers cropping out from the side of the ravine a vein of gold. Oh, the death of the one impoverishes his family and causes failure to some with whom he was in business. See, for the same
This
two
is the
people went,
example which we already discussed, but makes sense.
yeah, that means, I mean, is this because of their past thoughts it happened?
He explains it in the next two paras.
Because of that fall, the other discovers an ore deposit which becomes a source of wealth. Such an occurrence is said to be an accident, bringing death to one, sorrow and poverty to some, failure to others, and good luck to the comrade whose wealth is gained by chance.
Okay.
Okay.
So here he
Explanation.
has painted the picture for us. Now
Yeah.
he
Explains.
goes
Now you
into he goes into explaining why.
Yeah. So explanation of an accident. There is no
Correct.
accident or chance connected with such occurrences. Each of the events is in accordance with the working out of the law as destiny and is an
Correct.
exteriorization of some thought issued by the persons affected, though beyond the limits of perception. So, but that means some time ago they released this thought, but they forgot. They
Yes.
didn't, yeah.
No, it has been
The one
released. Okay.
has been,
But
yes.
he has been feeding it one way or the other.
Yes.
See, even when he would have put his foot there, he would have done it consciously.
Yes. But it so happened it was a slippery rock at that time. Yeah.
Or he was
The
not
one who,
completely aware of his action. That also is possible.
yes. The one who was killed was a man whose allotted time had run its course, though his death could have occurred a little sooner or might have been postponed for a short time. The manner of his death had been predetermined to be sudden. Further, it was necessary an account of his family and his business connections that his relations to them be severed abruptly, that cuts abruptly. Therefore, he suffered
No, this
sudden
is
death.
an agreement not only of his energy, energy of all the
Family,
people associated with him.
business and family people.
Yeah,
That's what it family
correct.
and his business connection.
Therefore, he suffered. See, he expresses a desire. I want to experience sudden death.
Okay.
That is one of the part of the 360 degrees of a divine virtue. Because even the negative side is a virtue, right?
Yeah, to learn some lesson or whatever. Some
Correct.
people
Correct.
they want to experience things. Whether the poverty awakens self-reliance in those who have been dependent on the deceased and brings out traits which could not be seen while they were dependent on another, or whether they become disheartened, give up to despair, or become paupers, rest largely upon the past of those concerned. So this can happen. The poverty awakens self-reliance, okay, and
Correct.
dependent on the, yeah, and bring out the good traits. Probably the person who finds that wealth, the gold, probably he will help his family, his friend's family. Whether the one who discovers the gold improves the opportunity of wealth to be honest, to better the conditions of himself and others, to relieve suffering, or to support educational work, or whether, on the other hand, he does none of these, but uses his wealth and power, which it gives him for the oppression of others, or whether he becomes morally corrupt and urges others to live urges others to lives of dissipation is all according to the law of thought and has been largely determined by previous thoughts of those concerned. So one of these many things can happen. So these are the
Correct.
different scenarios.
So, see,
So
again, this entire thing, right, is nothing but
lessons learned.
it is the lessons that have been chosen. These are the lessons, which is
Yeah.
the purpose that you have come here for. Yeah.
On the physical earth, we think, why do we choose such lessons? For us, it's very difficult, but on the other side, it's different. If the deceased had been more careful in the selection of his path, he might not have fallen, though his death, as it was required by the law, would merely have been postponed a short time.
So even if he is careful, right,
Yeah,
the three conditions, if they may meet, right, lesson
yeah.
is equal to right, is equal to
Mm.
the three conditions. Come what may, the
Yeah.
three conditions is the
A,
only
place,
way.
time.
Correct.
A, yeah.
Right. Now, these three conditions can come into effect in whichever way they want. The moment the circumstance that you have created is the meeting point of these three conditions, it will follow the law.
I have one
Otherwise,
question here.
it's
So
postponed.
Yeah, ma'am.
we always say like in Jnanagni Dagdhanam Karma. So based on that, so person who is a spiritual aspirant, through his gaining the knowledge and doing meditation, even though he created the thought in the past with ignorance, can he completely eradicate that situation, not just by temporarily postponing that, completely erase
See,
that permanently?
from the law perspective, as long as he knows how to manipulate one of the three conditions, he is good.
Yeah,
Okay.
the manipulation only a short-term solution, or is it a permanent solution?
See, he may learn in a different way. For example, in one of the books, right? Why in one of the books in the same lifetime? Who is Angulimala?
Hmm.
He's
Who
robber
was
and he's murderer.
Valmiki? Right. Who was Valmiki?
Hmm.
Right? Valmiki was not a saint, he was not a writer.
Yes.
You know that he was basically, he was playing that role to learn his lesson.
Hmm.
Correct. So, even if you create, in one life, if you have created those karma, in the next life, you may take something which you are resetting that. For example, there was in one of the past life regression, somebody who was a murderer, right? He becomes a doctor in his next life.
Yeah,
Just to wipe off his
Seth
karma.
Seth book we have learned that.
The said book, right?
Yeah.
Right? So, basically what he is saying is, treat everything as a lesson, right? So a spiritual person, for example, Ramana Maharshi, what did he say about cancer?
He just
When he
ignored,
was
even though it is.
experiencing cancer, what did he say?
He said that belongs to the body, not me. Yeah.
Correct. So that is a spiritual answer to the suffering, right?
Yeah.
So suffering is unavoidable on Mother Earth,
Okay.
right? So that is what this is saying. Is all, see, according to law of thought, you will change the intensity of it. Now, how would your outlook be when you are changing the intensity? It will definitely manifest, but you would have the internal ability, right? For example, let me take myself.
To reduce
Uh,
the
exactly. See,
mm,
I have lost 5 toes,
yeah.
right? But is it impacting me?
Because you have achieved and mastered how to see that in a
That is
different.
exactly the work. Got it? I can still suffer. Or I can learn my lesson and learn to live. Right? So that is the way it can work. If it has not been, if we have not been able to dissolve that energy completely.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Because
Sir,
the thought will be on its path to execution in its own journey. Yeah. Yeah, Ramakrishna Garu.
Sir, I heard in one of the podcasts, I'm trying to get remember who is it, but basically that is every person is given 1 to 5 exit points to come out of the soul plan.
It is not 1
I
to
got,
5. You
I,
will have
I
a
got,
number of exit points.
Yeah.
Right. Now,
I
what are
read,
those exit points? It is not 5, it is not 3, and there is no fixed
Okay.
number.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the soul takes a call every time. That is the doer in
Right.
the
Right.
body.
Right.
Takes
Right.
a
Yeah.
call every time saying,
Uh-huh.
I have come here with a purpose. My
Okay.
project. Is the project going to get completed? The answer is no. Okay.
Okay.
Then why should I waste my time? Okay. Let me terminate this project,
Okay.
dissolve this project, abort this project, and
Mm.
come with a new project.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Or I have deviated to such an extent that I don't see any further logic in continuing. So, second cause for abortion, right? You abort. The third one, I have finished the project. Now there is nothing more for me to do. Instead of wasting time, let me start a new project, right? That becomes the 3. This way, you will have a number of this, but these 3 are the conditions that will help you take a call. That is why probably Bala ma'am was saying 3.
because but in Patriji's case, he decided because his work is over when PMC channel started,
Yeah.
when more and more,
Same is the
then he
case with
decided,
DLN Shastri.
yes, yes.
See, DLN
The
Shastri
first
is the brain behind PMC channel.
Yeah, and also North India,
Correct. So
probably
he had finished it. You
yeah.
can prolong it, but it is better to come with a different project, right?
So, sir, a
Yeah.
question here. So the person who fell into the ditch and died, see, he had two options.
That is his soul contract.
No,
That
I
is
know.
part of the lesson he wanted to pick up.
Right.
Look
No,
at it from that. Yeah.
agreed. My question is, he had two choices. One, he can exit, and two, he can survive. See, now if he exits, okay, now his wife and children, they are the impacted people. That his exit may or
But
may
then,
not be in their plan, right?
see,
But
if
if
it
he has
is not, he
survived,
will
then he would be
survive.
with them. Huh?
No, no. See, that is why. Read this.
Okay.
Read this. Very clear in his enunciation. On account of his family, further,
Okay.
it was necessary. What? The manner of his death had been predetermined to be sudden. Further, it was necessary on account of his family and his business connections that his relation to them be severed abruptly.
Okay.
So it is not just his plan. Somebody
Okay.
there would have said, please, at least bring me to a stage. Maybe I would have made them financially comfortable when I am leaving. I don't
Okay.
know. I'm just,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
I'm just voicing an aligned thought.
Yeah. Okay.
But my experience is still needs to be sudden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, remember
Yeah.
in a case like when we were doing Seth, I talked about one kid who lost his both parents in an accident.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, in that case, how do we analyze this point of understanding
In the
accidental
same way.
both parents? So it's the
Yeah.
kid
It also is
manifestation.
involved in the game. It is a group decision. It is a
Okay.
soul contract.
All three of them, parents
Correct.
and kid.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
See, in the soul plan, he says even having a like a Down syndrome kid or artistic kid, these are all also they planned ahead of time before coming onto this as a group plan. He
And
clearly
he
mentions
calls
all
those souls highly evolved souls because
involved.
they are very courageous.
Yeah, they agreed for parents to learn lessons. Purposely, they agreed to come in like that. So that's why he
Correct. So,
says,
yeah.
I have a burning question here.
Yes.
So, you said it's a group soul plan. Now, group soul plan, everybody died at a different time. So, are you saying while they were alive, their soul did the planning? So, obviously, last time the parents would have died before the child had died. Is
Not
this not?
necessary. Not necessary. No, it is not.
So, supposing in current lifetime, child is dying before parent or parent is dying and child is dying later, if they are doing a soul plan at that time, it will be person who died first that will be doing the soul plan, not the one who is currently still alive.
I didn't understand the question. I'm missing
No,
something.
Chandra Garu, he's asking whether because some of them are alive on the earth, how can the other souls make a group plan like that? Group.
Yes.
So, but the soul is only part of it.
Wait. Anna, I got the question. That is why the moment she started, my mind went into giving the answer. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, ma'am, okay, purpose of life is equal to lesson plus talent plus goal. Okay.
Yeah.
Using these three, you are going to create a Okay?
Okay.
Got so far you are in line?
Yes.
You have created a scenario. Okay? Now, what do you have? You have free will to enact the scenario. Suppose the circumstances have changed. Accommodate. You have now your scenario is getting enacted, but the shape of this, shape of this, shape of this, it is not going to change. It is going to be a lesson. It is going to be a talent. It is going to be a goal. All these things are part of purpose of life. Now, you have to still, but then the circumstances of the scenario that you have put together has undergone a change. Just like when you start a car and you are going to a store, right? You have an obstruction. What do? Do you navigate the vehicle?
Yeah, navigate the vehicle.
Exactly. Right? That steering wheel in your hand is your free will. Got it?
Yeah.
Right? Will you deviate from the destination? You may. But 99 out of 100, you will not deviate from the destination.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. That story, that journey, that path is the journey of life. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, raise your question and answer your question. Do you still have the same doubt? If you, then we will add some more meat and clarify it to ourselves. Got this picture completely?
Yes, I got this. But still, okay.
Go ahead.
Whole
Now
plan, what?
re-ask. Ask.
So, not looking at behind, in the current scenario, in what I was saying, say, like you said, the accident or the person drowned himself to kill himself, the child. So child is a child at that time, and in his next birth, so supposing the parents are still alive, they are suffering, but the child has died, he so if he's going into the next life, he won't
Why
be
are the parents suffering? Because
lost
one
him.
of these parameters they are not remembering.
Yeah.
The
Yes,
child, why does the child choose you as parents?
because whatever he planned in his soul
You
plan.
have agreed to give him that environment, correct?
Yeah.
You have agreed to give him that environment, but now you are saying, though I agreed, I want to suffer. So you need to heal because you have voluntarily agreed. No one forced you to take up that role. But you have forgotten that because you are letting your body mind rule you, correct?
Yeah.
So somewhere in this assessment, in this part, you have forgotten one of the three. And that is the reason why you are saying you are this could be the lesson you have agreed to right in the beginning.
Yes.
Right? How to manage this kind of an injury is the lesson that you have chosen for yourself. but you don't recall that this is what you have chosen. That is why, right? Why are you not using this fellow? Why are you not using your power to overcome what you are undergoing?
See, one thing I will tell you, because they want to learn the detachment lesson or not, because they had so much attachment, in previous lives. So they want to learn that part. Probably that is why they chose as a group. Because suffering caused by aversion and attachment. And Buddha says pain is unavoidable, but suffering is, pain is we cannot avoid. But suffering, he says, we can avoid by by taking out suffering, and also aversions and attachment. When we have aversion and attachment, when we suffer more. See, because we are all players in this drama. So when you spiritually grow, then you get to know all these. Then you have lesser and less attachments.
Yeah, that's right. Agree. But
So now you are able to answer your question?
yes.
Okay, let's go further down, one more page.
Thank you.
If the
Right.
deceased had been more careful in the selection of his path, he might have been fallen. He might not have fallen, though his death, as it was required by the law, would merely have been postponed a short time. Because it was destined, it only postpones only in a short time. If his companion had not descended the perilous path in the hope of rendering assistance, he would not have found the means by which he acquired his wealth. Yet, even if fear should have kept him from going to the aid of his comrade, he would only have deferred his prosperity, because wealth was to be his as the result of his past thoughts and works. By not letting pass on an opportunity which duty presented, he hastened his prosperity. See, by going down to help his friend, then he found that wealth. It
That
is
is
injurious to.
coincidental. It's basically the smaller events that lead to a particular goal, particular milestone, are incidental.
Not
But the
only that,
milestone, yeah. No,
with that wealth, probably he's going to use and help his friend's family at that time.
see, that is your compassion saying it. But you cannot punish him for not doing it.
No, that is true. That's why they said it all depends upon how he uses.
Exactly, right. Now, if he does it, and he does it such that, okay, he has got more, what am I going to do? That is where his service to the community, maybe he educates that child, he does something that helps them.
Yeah. Yes.
Right? Okay. And it may wipe off some of the karmic thoughts that he has released.
Yeah.
Okay. That is why you have that free will.
Yeah.
Some portion
That
of
is
the
why.
lesson as a foundation for tomorrow, you are doing it now.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a free will. He can choose how he uses that wealth.
Correct.
It is injurious to speak of an accident and chance as events happening without cause and irrespective of law. Such unthinking use of the words fosters in people the belief that they may act or fail to act and not be held accountable. They come to believe that things may happen to them without cause. so they may dull their moral conceptions. They limit their views and reasoning to things on the physical plane. They trust to chance and are liable to become irresponsible. Events which affect a few or many, or a race or a continent, or the whole world, arrive to those whom they benefit or afflict according to the working of the law of thought as destiny. Events affect. So here he is saying events affect which affect a few or many, or a race or a continent or the whole world, to those whom they benefit or afflict according to the
Yes.
working of the law of thought of destiny. To each individual or exteriorized some of his past thoughts, the thoughts press for an opening for exteriorization.
The thoughts
If
will
there are
always
many,
work towards an exteriorization.
if there are
Any
many people
question?
whose
Any
thoughts,
question here? Any question?
yes, to each individual or some of his past thoughts also, in that he will exteriorize. The thoughts press for an opening for
So only question is like, we may not remember our past thoughts, but they get manifested to, today as in this life.
That
not
is
only
what we
in
learned. Then is
Yeah.
it not the same thing we learned when we did that gulping exercise?
Yes, yeah.
Right. So that is the way. One the habit, the other one is you are not aware, you don't recall. You are thinking just the opposite, but what you are actually doing is the reverse of what you are thinking you are doing.
Yeah, yeah.
And not only
Right.
that, the reason this knowledge is there, but it is coming to us only last couple of years.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
After they get surprised, oh my God, this knowledge is there, we didn't know.
Yeah.
But this is what only when you are ready also, this knowledge is coming. Because
Correct.
nobody knew that until now, but our thoughts created destiny.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now
Okay,
look at this explanation. This is very useful.
Chandra,
are
can you
many-
scroll up a little bit the previous paragraph?
This or this?
The one more, the one above. So here in this, it is injurious to speak of accident. That paragraph. Chance of events happening without cause and irrespective of law. Such unthinking use of words foster in people the belief that they may act or fail to act and not be held accountable. I did not understand this. It says they come to believe that things may happen to them without cause, so they may dull their moral conception. So is that does it mean that because they have experienced this kind of unexpected or events that they don't like happening, they lose their moral morality
They
and they behave wrong?
they lose their alignment to their purpose of life.
You mean the ones surviving, right?
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
That is why he is saying, right? Such unthinking use of the words foster in people the belief that they may act or fail to act and not be held accountable. What is this? He is saying that don't say that
negative.
accident and chance as events happening without cause and irrespective of a law. If you are doing it, it is ignorance. This
Okay.
is another way of saying Jnanagni Dagda Karmanam, right?
So that we not speak
That
of
is
that accident.
ignorance. That is ignorance, yes.
Okay.
There is no accident. It is a thought wherein three conditions of the thought's exteriorization have worked, which is what we wrote somewhere, right? Where did we write that?
Yeah, here. Yeah.
No.
But yeah, the aim was,
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Time and
The thoughts exteriorization. No, I think way ahead, ma'am.
yeah,
No, where
aim,
is that?
time, and
We had written those three, no? Where is that gone?
You just
it's in
scrolled
the
a little bit down somewhere on the right side. A circle. This one?
right side,
No, not
isn't
here.
it?
I had written it
I
in
think,
red color.
yeah, we passed it, I think.
Here. Here. Lessons is equal to 3 conditions.
Hmm.
Okay. Instead of lessons, I should write
And also, according to Tate, even if there is a fire accident, if you keep on talking about that, the group effect will
you
be
are
there.
giving it energy. You are giving it
Hmm,
energy.
hmm.
Please don't overlook that.
Yes.
Okay. You are the one who is giving it energy. वो तो होना ही है.
Hmm.
Got it? So don't
Yes.
overlook this. Don't forget this. This is important. Why is this? Okay. Oh, that is the reason.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Okay,
Okay.
let's go down.
Thank you.
Okay, accidents in history.
If there are many people, yeah.
Yeah, if there are many people whose thoughts tend towards a similar event, they are gathered even from the ends of the earth to bring about the so-called accidents. That's what I was talking about. To everyone comes advantage or loss that exteriorises some of his past thoughts.
Okay.
So
Now, this is a very common scenario when there are group tragedies.
when there are
What is a group tragedy? Let us say there are 10 people traveling in a train. Something happens and all 10 people leave this world. Right? The conclusion from a soul plan we can take is they all wanted to leave their bodies together. Okay. The train journey is incidental. They all got together. See, sorry. The same way, sorry. The same way, even your soul plan takes into effect, manifests and manipulates. Nature will change the scenario so that you probably are going to take birth in a country which is part of the scenario which is going to enable you to get your messages fulfilled. You may deviate, but nature will recreate a situation wherever you are or take you to a place which is already existing. All these are not accidents. Okay. That is the point that is highlighted here. Let us continue.
accidents in history. Accidents which happen to a community like a conflagration, cyclone, inundation. What is inundation?
Inundation.
Or
Flood.
yeah, inundation. Oh, okay, yeah. Or pestilence, or likewise the exteriorizations of thoughts of those affected. See, these are all nature calamities. So
No, these
yeah,
are not
Abhibhuti
nature
Kata.
calamities. All
uh,
the people involved, their combined thought.
yeah, they create. That's what Seth book says.
Yeah. You create your reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, suppose recently LA fires, when people keep talking about constantly about that, because of that fear in another location, that may happen because that negative energy, it goes into the universe.
Correct.
They attract.
Yeah.
Under this head fall also the destruction of hamlets and cities and the devastation of countries, like the ruthless razing of Carthage, the sacking of Rome, the plundering of
Spanish
just
settlements by
Spanish
the
settlements,
buccaneers. Yeah.
buccaneers, or the conquest of Peru. In these cases, the just suffer with the unjust. See, the just suffer with the unjust. The unjust are the evil ones in the present. The just are the unrighteous of the past. See, this one we didn't, because that is F1, F2. Okay.
No. This is not F1, F2. What he is saying
Unrighteous in the
is,
past. See, unrighteous in the past means the other way, isn't it?
which one? No. See,
Here,
unrighteous of the past, those energies are getting burnt here.
the unjust are the evil ones in the present. Okay.
Correct.
The just are unrighteous of the past.
So their past karma is getting dissolved here.
Oh, I see. Okay. I thought the roles are reversed here. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Such destinies have been made by the action and inaction, the participation and indifference of the inhabitants in times such as those of the persecution of what is this? Huguenots.
Huguenots.
Huguenots
Or of the
are of
Netherlands. I mean, some location it appears.
Alva, or of the Quakers by Puritans in New England. Yeah, this one we know, Quakers by the Puritans in New England.
Correct.
They will be brought together in the course of time, and their thoughts will lead them to the
brought
place.
together, ma'am. You missed B.
They will be brought together in the course of time, and their thoughts will lead to the place and time of the exteriorization of those past thoughts. So basically, whatever karma, is a group, when they had that, so it will, they will exteriorize, when all the time and what is this time and course of
it
time,
can be the same locality, or people may be brought together in another. I was giving that example of the train and all that, right?
Yeah, he said the place. Yes. Will lead them to the place and time of the exteriorization of those past thoughts. That place may be the same locality, or the people may be brought together in another, and there live in a prosperity or in trouble and share in the accidents or of the final disaster. So either same country or some other country.
Wherever it is going to manifest.
The reckoning may be held up for a long time, but it is sure to come. The United States of America was set apart by intelligences to try out self-government by the multitude, and so they have been led to success in their various wars, their political institutions, and their economic undertakings, notwithstanding the actions of the people. In peace and in war, their escape from the natural consequences of their selfishness and indifference is striking. But this protection and universal success, which school histories and orators seem to take as a matter of course, may not last. So he's saying it may not last for long. So they will go through this protection, universal success. There must be an accounting for all that these people did tolerate and do in violation of their great responsibility. The New England bigots, the Massachusetts slave traders, the Southern slave drivers, the oppressors of the Indians, the political and other corruptionists will at some time meet and suffer at the reckoning which is sure to come. So that means sometime in the future they will go through. In
They
every
have
life,
to.
there are.
Their law has to be balanced. There is no other reality. If this was said, he would have said, period. That's it.
Yeah.
You like it? Fine. You don't like it? Endure it.
Even Abraham Lincoln, he was involved. He was a very key person in banishing, or in what do you call that? In stopping the slavery, right? But he, even in spite of that, he got killed by one of the people who were slave traders or who had slaves working for them.
Exactly. So that is the not only that, before he left his body, he would have designed to become the president, the leader of that country.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but I'm saying
Now,
he stopped slavery. But in spite of
he
that,
stopped
he got killed.
slavery. I mean, he may
Okay.
have been credited with stopping the slavery. But there may be so many people who would have fought along with it. He would have led the movement.
Right, yes. But my question was, he got killed. He got assassinated, right?
That's
So
okay.
why?
That's
Is
part
that
of his life
because...
where he
Okay,
wanted a violent death.
okay.
He
Or could
would
it
have
be a
wanted to
reason?
experience. No, there's no
And not
see,
only Ratna,
Hmm?
that is why
Yeah.
he's remembered all this. Every person remembers it so well because he is the one abolished the slavery, black slavery.
Right.
He-
So
he-
does that mean that his karma got balanced with this kind of a death, with his earlier previous lives activities?
No. See, one is the
Don't say
lesson that you are choosing. Okay.
Yeah.
Karma. Look at it this way. You don't have a choice. You have 35.
Lessons to learn. Okay.
Right? You have got these 35 lessons. Remaining, go back to this diagram. Okay? You go back to this diagram. Okay? You have chosen a lesson. The lesson is violent death.
Okay.
Right? The goal is probably, you will say, at the height of my situation in life. Okay?
He was that.
The talent is setting certain things free, bringing about certain change, etc. He went on struggling till that goal was reached. All these are interconnected. Okay? Right? And he has agreed with all the souls to execute his soul contract. All the people.
Okay.
See, how do you execute your purpose of life? Okay. How do you execute your purpose of life? By getting into a contractual agreement with all the souls involved. Okay? Right? That scenario that you have created for yourself, right? That scenario is part of your purpose of life, which entails so many players.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
Yes.
who does it, who does what, and how it is getting executed is based on the contractual agreement that you have entered with.
Mm. Mm.
I think
And
you
that
should read
one, when it
the
is
whole.
played out, right, we with our limited understanding will bring in the relationship and all that. We are giving it a color, but by itself it has no other color than this. That is what we are learning. Got it?
Okay. So there is no relationship of his death with his previous life's karma and all,
No,
nothing.
there is, right? It is part of the lesson.
Okay.
See,
Yes.
this lesson, when you use your free will and avoid it, let us say, is your lesson complete?
No.
Right? If it is not complete, that means it is still there.
Right.
Okay?
Uh,
These 35, you may have 150 scenarios to complete that 35.
mm,
Correct?
yes.
Right? That is how it will take effect. If it is complete, that is not there. He has finished his violent death. Then that would not take place. Even if he plans it, he has already completed it. So he knows how to overcome it.
Okay.
Okay? That is the
Okay.
way
Okay.
the entire life will work.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Let's go further.
Okay. So in every life, there are numerous events which are generally regarded as accidents. Such events are, to mention a few, birth at a particular time into a certain country, race, family, and religion, birth into a favorable or unfavorable conditions, birth into a sound or a diseased body, birth with certain psychic tendencies and mental endowments. People's lives are largely made up of events which they cannot choose and which seems to be determined by accident. Among these are opportunities offered to enter a trade, a business, or a vocation, chance acquaintances who cause, prevent, or end associations in work or commerce, and conditions which lead to or hinder marriage and friendship. So these are all also we are choosing,
These
it
are all
seems.
the scenarios. See, all
Yeah.
these, all he is saying is, all these are the scenarios of
Hindering
your
friendship.
plan getting executed. These are all the constituents of your soul contract. Agreed?
Yes.
Okay, let's go one more page down. People, if they do not look upon events as happenings by chance, explain them as the will of God and seek consolation in their religion. So people who don't understand all this, they say, oh, okay, it's will of God, it happened. That's how they can get consoled.
Correct.
So then
Now
the
he
right.
brings, yeah,
So what is the right way of saying it then?
it
Because
is
we are
part of the
creating our own.
lessons I have taken. I accept. What are you doing? I claim and accept, right?
Okay.
Yes.
You claim and accept.
Yeah.
And you seek forgiveness or you will accept with gratitude. These are also part of your lesson number week 10, right?
Mm.
Okay,
Okay.
religions which turn around personal God seems incompatible with the law of thought as destiny. So the law of destiny doesn't go with religion. Some of their doctrines are particularly designed to settle inquiries into the mysteries of the law by statements which must be accepted by faith and without contradiction. A religion is the relation between man and a god or gods, which he has helped to fashion or maintain largely for the purpose of getting comfort and protection. The religion into which a man is born or which he accepts during life indicates the stage of his development. The commands of the god whom he worships, the form of the worship, the punishments threatened, and the rewards promised show the particular element of the nature to which his doer is attuned. Nature is the nature matter in those parts of the spheres of fire, air, and water which reach into the sphere of the earth. A part of which earth sphere is the human physical world, in which is the visible universe, including the moon, sun, planets, and stars. A part of the human world is personalized in the organs, systems, and the senses in the human body. So, inside also we have.
Now, what he's saying is that scenario is distributed into all these environments for you to, that lesson, right? The lesson is distributed across all of these things.
Yeah. So that's why he's saying part of the human world is personalized in the organs, systems, and senses in the human body. All these are made up of matter belonging to the four elements. Each of the senses is a nature unit doing service in a human body. The four senses of seeing, hearing, tasting, and smelling are the connections which relate the doer in the human as a distinct entity to nature as a whole through its four elements. So basically, we are connected to these four elements through our four senses, and it's doing a lot of service to us. There is a constant pull on the one hand by each of the four elements of nature on its particular sense in the human body, and on the other hand, by nature on the doer through the connection of the four senses with the doer in the body. The senses
So there are both these doers. There is one doer in the body and this one. Both of them are involved in the execution. That means your higher self and self are both involved in the execution of a plan.
Yeah, one is through the four senses it is connecting with the doer. Yeah. The other one is one particular sense, he's saying. The senses are the emissaries of nature, the messengers, agents, priests, through which nature speaks to the doer. The pull is like a call from nature to man. It is experienced as a feeling, an emotion, a sentiment, a longing. The human is overwhelmed by uncertainty and the fear of powers against which he is helpless. He responds to that call and to his wish for comfort and protection by worship. That worship must take some form. The form is the religion of the particular human. So for his protection's sake, he takes this religion. He's saying
exactly.
The human worships nature in terms of personality. So he's saying the human worships the nature in terms of personality. The reason for this is that the human identifies himself with his body and so does not think of nature, power, love, or intelligence except as proceeding from a personality. That is why we make the idols like a human form.
Exactly.
That's what he's saying. Man cannot conceive of anything without identity or form. Therefore, when he wants to worship nature, he magnified men and women. His religion is the between him and his gods. So basically, he's not thinking of the nature, power, or love, or intelligence in terms of that, but he is only identifying as a form. These nature gods cannot continue to exist without worship, for they need and depend on human thought for nourishment. That is why they are continually crying for and commanding worship. There are ceremonies and rituals with which they demand to be adored in certain places, temples and buildings for their worship. The symbols appear in ornaments on or in the very form of vestments, temples, and structures, or in dances or rites performed in these by worshippers.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's go down.
Mm.
Yeah. The symbols represent chiefly procreation, food, and punishment. Among such religious symbols are, for the male deities, the sun and the rays of the sun, fire and that which carries fire as a torch or a candle, and for the goddesses, the earth, the moon, and water. Then there are directly the generative parts of the human body and the symbols which indicate them. As for the male, the stem of a palm tree, conifers, a shaft, a pillar, a staff, an obelisk, an arrow, a lance, a sword, an erect serpent, a bull, a goat, and other animals. The female is represented by a woman holding a child and by a vessel, an arch, a grove, a door, a lodges, a shell, a boat, a rose, a pomegranate, or a cow, a cat, and a similar fertile animals. The parts of a man are made to appear in the conventional form of the male triad, trefoil and bishop's crook, and the female symbols are such things as the vesica pieces, a bowl, a goblet, or an urn. These symbols are used alone or jointly. Religious symbols.
Yeah.
The conventional forms appear in many combinations, generally in cross or star forms, indicating junction. Nature and the nature gods have no feeling and no desire in themselves, but they feel and desire with human feelings and desires. They get these through human bodies. That is not to say that these gods are subservient to man or that they are otherwise they are powerless. They are beings of splendor and of vast power. The force of nature is behind them. They can and they do punish and reward. Their worshippers they reward with the objects of the worship. They are the faithful to man as he is to them. They reward a man or a people as far as they can. There is a limit to their powers, but they can bestow strength and beauty of body and health possessions, worldly power, success in undertakings, long life, and posterity. The gods do this as long as the man or people are faithful in worship and obedient to their commands. However, the power of these gods is limited in a twofold way by the worship of the people and by the boundaries set by the law of thought. None of these gods has intelligence of his own. A god is not an intelligence and
Yeah.
and has no light of an intelligence except what he gets in the thoughts of human worship. All the intelligence a god has, he gets through doers in human bodies.
Because we are the ones who have created him. So if we don't think of him, he is not there.
Yeah. And by worshipping more and more, we are giving the power.
Correct.
Such a nature god is subjected to intelligences which rule the earth sphere. Yet each nature god desires to be considered by his human servitors as the supreme intelligence of the universe. It is from the doer that the god gets the idea of being worshipped as the supreme intelligence. The god desires such worship because if the doer feels so about him, it will be faithful to him. The god is what the human beings make him. They actually endow him with all their ambitions and desires, their brutality and revenge, their mercy, kindness, and love. Nature gods crave light of an intelligence. It is impossible for them to receive it except as they get control of doers in human bodies. So that is how they control,
Yeah.
by giving
They
rewards.
don't control. You make them control you.
Yeah, you make them
It's
control. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ratna, you are saying
Gods
something?
no, I was just going to say that this what we read so far is similar to the story in Krishna in Vrindavan, right? Where Indra, he when he lifts the Govardhan Giri. It's the
Correct.
same thing, right? Yeah.
Same thing.
When the doer responds to the claims of the God, light of the intelligence goes out in the doer's thought, which follows the pull of nature. So when the doer responds to the claims of God, let me read again this one. Okay, yeah. When the doer responds to the claims of God, light of the intelligence goes out in the doer's thoughts, which follows the pull of nature. That is how, wrong way, he's pulling
That is how it is getting exteriorized.
exteriorized.
So he is explaining that here.
Light of its intelligence furnishes the doer with the means of accomplishing the doer's worship. Okay, light of intelligence furnishes the doer with the means of accomplishing the doer's worship, but the doer is not aware of this. The great effort of nature gods is to obtain the subjugation and service of human thinking. Okay, therefore, it is because the reason is, as long as we get benefits, we keep on doing it, but we are not thinking higher. That is what That is why he subject. Your mind is subjugated because you are satisfied with all this. Therefore, it is represented by the priest of a religion that the thinking is inferior to belief. The believer is given to believe that feeling is superior to thinking, and that in religion, thinking should follow the prompting of feeling. The priest may say that thinking leads the soul away from the God. They say that if the soul gives up its devotion to the God, it will be led away from him and be lost to God as a soul. This is quite true. When the doer follows the light of intelligence, it is led away from the nature and from the gods it has fashioned out of nature. The nearer an embodied doer is to nature, the more quickly will that doer respond to the pull of nature by religious worship, and it is proper that such a doer should worship in this way while it is sense bound.
Yeah, that is why in the religious rituals, they say just do it as it is told, don't think.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the nearer an embodied doer is to nature.
See, all that who has told, it is the priest whose survival is dependent on it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they are the ones initially, blindfolded all the people.
As a doer.
Okay. As a doer responds more to the light of intelligence, it begins to question. The questions are about power, right and wrong, God and man, the visible and invisible, the real and unreal. So all these questions come up.
All these questions, that is our generation now. And more so the next generation, the children.
Yes. I mean, further, they are much more evolved. Yeah. These innate God answers through the senses. His messages are interpreted in terms of feeling and they affect the heart. See, so far they're affecting the mind. Now it affects the heart. By contrast, the triune answers with the light, showing to the doer the solution by the light. At the proper time, the doer must choose between the worship of nature and that of the triune self and light. Every doer knows when that time has come. So for all the meditators, when they choose that, only through meditation, only going in, inwards into ourselves, then they stop this worship.
Yeah.
So as the doer advances in development, it recedes from the belief until it may reach through agnosticism and denial to a disbelief in any God. Disbelief usually comes through progress in the natural sciences and through thinking, which disproves some of the assertions of theology, discredits some of the sources of revelation, question the motives of the revealers and of the priesthood, and lead to disbelief in everything that cannot be verified by physical measurements and the reactions of science. So finally, that is why most of the atheists also, they turn
Yeah.
into meditators.
Yeah.
Newton was like that, a communist family.
All.
Disbelief also comes when thinking is developed in the doer to the extent that it realizes the injustice of a God who disobeys the moral code which he proclaims for his children, and who demands that the will of God, the wrath of God, and the ways of providence be accepted as an excuse or explanation of his inequalities. Yeah. Explanation of his inequalities.
Inequities.
Iniquities.
Yeah.
Disbelief, however, is wrong. It is worse for one to break away from religion, deny the existence of a God, and assert that death ends all, than to share the naive belief in the ways of providence and the will of God. The gods do exist, and they can furnish the body food and things that make physical life pleasant. So basically, he's saying disbelieving in God also not good, isn't it? Disbelief,
Disbelief
however,
is
is wrong.
wrong.
Yeah,
Right?
but
Because
properly,
it's,
yeah,
again, you are, see, he's saying that disbelief is as bad as believe blindly. That is the
it is.
dichotomy. Okay.
They are entitled to gratitude for what they give, but not to worship as the supreme intelligence.
Hmm.
What is this he's saying? They're entitled to gratitude.
No. Read
The
further.
manner in which humans are taught the law of thought is the way in which they want to think or learn. That way is to let the doer, so long as it remains sense bound, consider a person God as its creator, a God of mercy and love, the source of power, and the administrator of justice according to a moral code.
So that is
As long
what
as he is
they are entitled to gratitude. You can give them the value, but don't overdo it. They are not the supreme. You are the supreme. Yeah. Okay. Now.
complete triune,
Yeah. Arre?
complete triune selves,
Arre?
the
What's
government of
wrong?
the world, provide the code of morals by influencing the human beings who develop a religion. Oh, complete triune self, the government of the world, provide the code of morals by influencing the human beings who develop a religion. This code is suited to the requirements of the people who look to their God as their creator, preserver, destroyer, and lawgiver. Without religions, the doers in human beings would have nothing to hold them in check. Each feels the presence of his triune self, but in their sensuous stages, people do not sense its qualities and power, and in their ignorance, they seek in nature for their God. So without religion, so he says that in
See,
ignorance,
religions are supposed to be moral codes.
yes.
But in that moral code, you are searching something. So you read the next, this one. Without religions.
Without religions, the doers in human beings would have nothing to hold them in check. Yeah, that is like a.
So
what do you
that is the purpose of religion.
Discipline.
Correct.
One
It's
way
a moral
discipline.
code of conduct, basically. Yeah.
Yes. Each feels the presence of his triune self, but in their sensuous stages, people do not sense its qualities and power. And in their ignorance, they seek in nature for their God. See, that is what. See, in their sensuous stage, They do not think their own power.
Correct. So I think this we should be able
Stop it.
to
It's 9
complete.
o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to stop here? There is not much here. I think people can read it and come up with question.
Sir, one comment I have is like, see, now he's talking about more of the nature, powers, and gods, right? But
Correct.
praising the nature in terms of the rains, floods, and all that, like that is only in Hinduism. No other religion has,
No.
established
Every
someone in
religion
charge.
has that, sir. No. See, we know about it because we are closer to Hinduism. But if
Uh-huh.
you go into any other religion, every religion has the same code because there was only one religion out of which all the religions came.
Okay, but
Not
do you think
Yes,
there is an equivalent of Agni Deva, Varuna Deva?
yeah, in
See,
Spanish, right? In Mexico and all, they pray for
yeah.
sun god
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
in
Aztecs,
Maya,
Egypt,
Mayans.
like
there
yeah,
are all these gods existing. So the
yes,
entire civilization itself has evolved around that. You have
Nature God.
created.
Yes.
Okay.
You have
Initially, only
created. Yeah.
So, sir,
Ramakrishna God.
there are some
Only
places in Egypt and also, like Madam said,
Yeah.
Mexican.
That's what I
There is
said. Yeah.
civilization which they follow the sculptures, right? They did inside the pyramids in other many places, not only pyramids. They showed
No,
that
that is
how a
Egypt.
human.
No, all we are saying, Sukumar, what you are saying is right. So everywhere it is there,
Yeah, yeah, it's there.
but we are not aware of it. If you go through the
That's
in-depth
it.
Bible, it is saying the same,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So basically, I think the remaining 4 pages people can read, and if there are questions, we will discuss. But this is the long and short of it. That's what is the key message.